Ever wondered how to accurately tap into your body's hidden wisdom? Today I'll reveal the benefits and shortcomings of muscle testing, a fascinating technique that can help you uncover nutritional deficiencies, emotional blockages, and more. Stay tuned to learn how this method works, its scientific basis, and what you can do to get the best results. Welcome to Physics-Powered Healing, where we bridge the gap between science and spirituality, transforming skepticism into belief. If you've ever felt misunderstood or undervalued for your healing gifts, this is the place for you. Unlike most healing podcasts out there, we believe integrating quantum physics with energy healing is essential to achieving profound and long-lasting transformation in your healing practice. Join me, Dr. Anastasia Chopelas, a physicist turned energy healer, to explore the scientific underpinnings of energy healing and make the mystical measurable. I first discovered muscle testing about 30 years ago when I was seeking answers that traditional medicine couldn't provide. I discovered it by chance by visiting my doctor in Germany, a traditional doctor but with naturopathic training. I had very high blood pressure, even though I was a very lean, exercising, non-drinker or smoker with a healthy diet. Imagine that. My doctor ran a series of allergy tests on me with an electrical current device. Then she tested various remedies using my right deltoid muscle, yes, that's that shoulder muscle on my arm, by determining which made me strong or weak. She prescribed those that made me strong. I didn't know that the body did this. I got very excited at all the possibilities. I'm an experimentalist after all. When I got home, I got creative and started testing my reaction to various foods with a 5-kilogram weight. That's 11 pounds. I'd lift it out sideways to see if I could, or not, bring my arm horizontally. I noticed that I always tested positive for foods I liked. So then I put the foods in numbered packets so I couldn't influence the results. They were opaque, of course. My results were consistent with the results my doctor had received. This really got me thinking about what else I could discover with muscle testing. For example, I'd retest myself every few days and found that I had a cyclical variation in my responses. And yes, they were monthly. Aha! Hormones affect results. Following these tests, I did an incredible amount of research into muscle testing, food allergies, and sensitivities, blood tests for various chronic conditions and diseases, and more. Fortunately, I had access to academic journals and knew how to interpret results since I had to follow the same strict standards for my own work into the vibrations of materials. For example, I found my sensitivity results with the various foods matched the then new concept of eating right for your type. This was the 1990s after all. For non-foods, certain shapes and colors tested positive or negative. The presence of certain people tested positive or negative. I tested other people's muscles in the same way and got the same consistent results with them. I want to be clear, I'm not testing real allergies or diagnosing illnesses. I'm testing the subconscious desires, the energy systems of the body, which include food, plant, and chemical sensitivities, as well as other things like emotions. These can be affected by food combinations and emotional state and your hormone levels. Alongside what foods your body resists or makes you weaker, you can also discover what foods make you stronger. Normally, everyone tests positive and strong for vitamin B, for example. You can also ask your body which supplements in which amount will help you. For me, I usually ask, is this vitamin at least 70% good for me, or this supplement? I also ask, how many do I need? I go through each of them every 12 days and ask again. That's how long it takes for me to empty my little vitamin container. I take the minimum I need to feel good. I'll pick up a bottle and ask, do I still need this? If so, how many? It saves me a lot of money. I don't have to listen to what other people say to take and all the millions of conflicting pieces of advice out there. I can even get a good idea by looking at a listing for a supplement on Amazon or an online vitamin shop to find which one or two will work. For example, if I'm looking for a magnesium supplement, I'll just go through the list and muscle test. I've done this with clients and family members, and choices have been effective for me and them. I get odd comments from time to time on my videos about muscle testing or applied kinesiology. I just want to make it clear, it's not spiritual or woo, it's based on your stress response. It has to do with tapping into your subconscious and your physiological responses. Your subconscious sees and observes far more than you can possibly realize. Your conscious mind, it is said, only takes in a very small fraction of the information your subconscious observes. If something disagrees with you, you get weaker because you have a stress response to something, thus sending stress hormones through the body. Knowing this, you can also improve your performance. If you tell yourself yes while lifting a weight, you can lift more. And by the same token, if you tell yourself no, your maximal weight you can lift decreases. Of course. Another demonstration of this idea is Amy Cuddy's research at Harvard. She did a famous TED Talk on this topic. She noted that standing up straight with shoulders back reduced stress levels, 20% reduction in cortisol, and a 20% elevation in testosterone inside of 2 minutes. It made people more confident and upbeat. When they slouched, they were more stressed. Their stress hormones started to flow. Their performance at a job interview or public speech improved dramatically if they stood up straight. This illustrates the two-way conversation between what your body is saying and doing. If you smile, it's hard to stay grumpy, for example, because it changes your hormones. Standing up straight, feet shoulder width apart with shoulders back and hands on the hips in the superhero pose brings more confidence. Why do you think you see them all standing like that? Your stress hormones drop quickly, your testosterone increases. Testosterone is a hormone that gives even women oomph. The lower your cortisol levels and the higher your testosterone, the stronger you become. Muscle testing is just a physiological response and has nothing to do with faith, soothsaying, or fortune-telling. It is really not a sin. I also want to be clear. Muscle testing is not a replacement for lab tests. It could guide them. You can ask your body what it needs. It will usually tell you. Muscle testing can't diagnose cancer or kidney disease, but it could hint at their presence. Here are some of the shortcomings of muscle testing and what it could be useful for in guiding your own decisions and healing process. Shortcoming 1. I was on the phone with a very intelligent, strong-willed, and well-educated gentleman. He had a doctor of law and an MBA. Imagine that. He called one evening to confirm the diagnosis that he was not having a heart attack at that moment. He said he muscle tested it several times with no as a result. I also got a no, but his symptoms were very typical of an overweight 60-year-old that didn't exercise and ate poorly. At that moment, he had arm pain and was short of breath. Sounded like a heart attack to me. I asked him where the nearest emergency room was. He lived in a different state. He said, 2 blocks away, but he couldn't drive or walk. He didn't feel well enough. He was resisting me. I said firmly, get your phone, go to the front door, get an Uber, and get to the emergency room. And he did, fortunately. He was in full cardiac arrest. He had a quadruple bypass the very next day. Well, what happened with the muscle testing? Why didn't it work? It's because his desire to not have a heart attack was so strong that it influenced not just his answers, but mine. The HeartMath Institute has done research on how emotional state is projected out physically. But we can also receive the vibes through voice and even through thought. In his case, logic told me he was in trouble and needed medical intervention. If your logic is telling you of a situation you are encountering, your emotional state or desires will cancel out a muscle test. Besides, I didn't want to risk losing him to an experiment. Could I heal a heart attack 2,000 miles away? Maybe. I did send him healing energy to assist, but medical teams have saved my parents and my husband. And I don't personally want that kind of responsibility. And where is he now? He's thriving several years later, minus about 100 pounds of body weight. And I am so happy he is. Here's another illustration of emotional attachment to a result. I almost never get a yes to the question, am I allergic to chocolate? Or is my client allergic to chocolate? Being unbiased is important in getting accurate answers. This is why I put the foods in numbered opaque packaging all those years ago. Scientific studies require double-blind tests. Shortcoming number 2. One of my students asked me, why does her muscle testing result for, is this card red, a no while holding a red card? She also got a no for, is my name Julie? It was. And a yes for, is my name Rosa? This is the case of having her electrical polarity reversed. Your body has an electrical system that influences the results of your muscle test. If it is running the reverse of normal, your results will be the opposite. I've gotten no for, is my name Anastasia? There's another simple test that determines your polarity aside from asking obvious questions like your name and silly questions like, am I wearing a pink tutu if you're not? When you place your hand palm down on the top of your head, you should test strong or yes. And if you put your palm facing up with the back of your hand on your head, you should test weak. If it's the opposite, your polarity is temporarily reversed. There are many ways this can happen. Trauma, emotional upset, eating or drinking the wrong thing, lack of rest. Here are ways that work to correct my polarity, for example. First, get physically comfortable and relax your mind. Any added stress, whether it's physical or emotional, will influence the results. Step 1 to correcting your polarity is to make sure that I'm hydrated. The way to test for hydration is to pull some hair on the top of your head. If I'm pulling and it says no, I'm getting a yes, repeat the last test until you get a positive answer. Step 2, I stand up straight, take a deep breath, and next I imagine light coming through the top of my head, down my arms, and then I shake them out as if the light is coming out my fingertips. Then I retest to see if my polarity has righted itself. And if that doesn't work, then I do some stretching and I cross my arms back and forth in the front. This helps balance the two brain hemispheres with one another and balances the energy of both sides of my body. I then muscle test again for my polarity, and usually that works. And step 4, certain crystals that are magnetized to you can help rebalance your polarity. Common is selenite. I have a number of crystals around the home that help. You can also take a salt shower to wash away low energy. You take a handful of table salt into the shower, dampen it, and pat yourself down from top to bottom and wash it away. Helps wash away the excess and nervous energy and even low energy emotions. Shortcoming number 3. Almost a century ago, Dr. Harold Burr measured the bioelectric field around animals. He found that the field changed immediately when he introduced a pathogen. Then the illness ensued days, weeks, or months later. It's an incubation period, so to speak. Muscle testing would also reveal the drop in energy upon that introduction of the pathogen. Therefore, your muscle testing measures the current state of your energy, but not the current state of your health. That's both good news and bad news. The bad news is you can't be sure of your current state of health with muscle testing. A correct diagnosis requires a lab test. Now, the good news. If you have a low energy reading, because of the delay, you have a chance to up-level your energy and improve your chances of staying healthy. Therefore, muscle testing determines the state of your energy flow and field at the current moment. It is not like an A1C or a CRP blood test, for example, that shows a longer-term result for blood sugar or inflammation, respectively. A good mood and upbeat attitude can bias your reading upward, and likewise, being in grief, depressed, or angry can bias your readings downward. I teach muscle testing in my healing courses because it allows someone without clair skills, such as clairvoyance or clairsentience, to access the knowledge needed to know how to move forward in healing. Anyone can do this as long as you know its strengths and limitations and you practice a lot. The more you practice, the better you get at it. I'd like to describe effective techniques and powerful alternatives, but since this broadcast is getting a little long, they will be in the next 2 broadcasts. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and get notifications to catch these. Thank you for listening in today. If you know of someone that would benefit from this, please share it with them. And please give me a thumbs up or 5-star rating if you enjoyed it. Are you sensitive, intuitive, or empathic? Discover simple protections for people like you. Join the free live training starting this week. Get the details at healersu.com/challenge. Once the date for the live sessions passes, you can watch recordings until the next live date rolls around in about 6 months. Thank you for tuning in to Physics Powered Healing. You'll find resources and show notes at our website at www.physicspoweredhealing.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Anastasia Chopelas, sending you golden healing light and success vibes on your journey to becoming a powerful, confident entrepreneur, healer, or empath. Remember, your gifts are so needed in the world.